Kaeleigh Moffit. She is so awesome, and she is also the president of the WFWP Women's Federation and the vice president of the WFWP International. So let's welcome her at this time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tanya, for your warm introduction, and thank you, Dr. Kim. I really enjoyed your joke about not complaining about only one man representing today, but he's a good man to represent all the men's point of view. So thank you, Dr. Kim, for always supporting women's leadership. We are so grateful for you. So I thought today that I would share a little bit about, I think, inspiration that I've picked up in my journey of being a woman leader, both in my personal life as a wife and a mom and a daughter and a sister, and also in my public work of leading the Women's Federation for World Peace. And we share a founder with WCLC, which is Dr. Hak Jan Han Moon, our Mother Moon. And her memoir and her words really serve as a compass for all the work that we do in Women's Federation, particularly her words about the role of women and the journey of women. And if I may, I already appreciated Yuka's readings because it gave a great shout out for Women's Federation for World Peace. And I'd like to add a few more of Mother Moon's quotes about true womanhood and what she has been guiding women towards, and share my reflections on that. So I think many times those of us who are watching WCLC webinars, we talk about the identity of our Heavenly Parent. And this is something that Father and Mother Moon have helped us to understand and realize more deeply, that God is not just a Heavenly Father, but a Heavenly Parent who encompasses both the love of a father and a mother. And this is huge. This is huge for this time. And I certainly feel this is answering almost like an unknown calling of the people at this time. There's some unsettled feeling, and the identity of God as a Heavenly Parent can really answer this longing of people in our time today. And what's amazing about that is when you identify God as a Heavenly Parent, that means as a woman, my divinity becomes much more clear, because I'm not just talking to a Heavenly Father and attending my Heavenly Father, but actually I have a Heavenly Mother aspect of God that I can be a direct manifestation of. So now my motherhood, my job as a mom in my family, is now a direct reflection of God. It's a divine calling. And of course, we've said this all along, right? All of Christianity has said this. But because of this elucidation of the identity of Heavenly Parent, of encompassing Heavenly Mother's identity, it means that my job is now elevated and sealed as a heavenly commission from Heavenly Parent. Now, Mother Moon's journey is unique because she is really the first woman in history who can call herself a true daughter of God. And that is so important for me in this time. That's so important for all the women in this time. We've had amazing women who have contributed to God's providence throughout history. But I think all women understand that something has been missing in terms of elevating and restoring the role of women in our society. We've made tremendous progress throughout history. And, you know, when I read historical books, my heart aches for what the experience was for women many, many years ago, of just not being respected and not having a role, not having value on your own. And now, you know, especially in America, we're very lucky because women have this status of being able to do anything they want to do. Now, externally, that's true. Internally, there's still some transformation that needs to happen for women to truly stand in the identity that God imagined for us at the time of creation. And Mother Moon is leading that for us. There's one quote from her memoir that I'll just bring up here, where she talks about her journey in doing God's work. She says, "I look back upon my life as an unrelenting mission to attend God as our Heavenly Parent from the position of His only begotten daughter." What this means is that she's treated every aspect of her life from the viewpoint of a mission of the only begotten daughter, a true daughter, the first true daughter who could really represent Heavenly Mother's love and bring Heavenly Mother's true essence here on earth. And I can say because of her work, because of her mission, because of her guidance, my own understanding of my identity of a daughter of God has expanded tremendously. And I feel more confidence than I ever have as I grow closer and closer in understanding Mother Moon's vision and mission. She identifies very clearly in her memoir the unique role of women. You know, we're in a bit of a battle in our society about men and women and masculinity and femininity and what the lines are and what that means. But I love the way that Mother Moon describes it here, our unique power as women. She says, women have the magical power to create harmony and to soften hearts. The world of the future can be a world of reconciliation and peace, but only if it is based on the maternal love and affection of women. This is the true power of womanhood, and the time has come for the true power of womanhood to save the world. Obviously, that is one of my favorite quotes from Mother Moon because she's calling on the need for the feminine touch in leadership in our time. And it's not that women's leadership is better than men's leadership, it's that it's been missing from all of human history. And so we have to place an extra emphasis on it in this time to correct the mistakes and the habits that have been built over time. Mother Moon mentions often that all the problems of the world in terms of war and conflict have come because our society has been only centered on a masculine viewpoint, even only on a Heavenly Father viewpoint. And so in this time, it's very important to be able to embrace the fullness of Heavenly Parent, the fullness of both masculine and feminine leadership. Now, just because you're a woman, of course, it's wonderful and awesome and gives you permission to be proud of your identity. But being a woman comes with responsibility. And we have to be careful that as women, we're not just touting our amazing femininity because we were born this way and we're amazing. We have to be careful about going too far in terms of feminism and thinking that we're better and this kind of habit that has developed in our culture. Actually, Mother Moon calls us out on that, and she gives us a responsibility in terms of being a woman. One of the things she says is we women need to rid ourselves of fallen traits and realize the original culture, bringing into fruition the nation and world of goodness and love long sought by humanity. She continues that we women this is the second part here. To be a clear mirror that reflects this age, each woman first needs to be clear and pure within herself. Each needs to find the indomitable power within that is necessary to overcome self-centeredness. God will raise up such true women as leaders on the path to world peace. And I appreciate this because she's calling on women to become true women, to look inside ourselves and rid ourselves of whatever is blocking us from being the fullest version of ourselves that God designed. And that takes work, but it's work that women are good at. We are able to be aware of our emotions. We're able to dig deep. We're able to take responsibility for our own stuff that gets in the way. And we are the ones who bring harmony to our family and to our community. But in order to do that, in order to be able to be a true woman and make the impact with your femininity, you have to do the work that is required. Now, the last thing that I just want to share about is I think we're in a time because of Mother Moon's leadership that this is the time for the true restoration of women. And I say that because going back all the way to the fall of Adam and Eve, there has been this weight that has been left on women because of Eve's portion of responsibility in the fall. However, the big trouble with the fall is truly that Eve turned more to Lucifer's opinion and his viewpoint instead of her heavenly parent, her divine voice that is deep within her heart. This is something that we women often struggle with, that we get lost in our own fear and doubt and worry, and we look to others for validation, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. But actually, each of us have a divine voice of our Heavenly Parent inside of us. And so our job is to make sure to restore what happened in the fall, that Eve should have centered on her Heavenly Parent's voice inside of her and not been swayed by somebody else. Our job now is to do the same. Don't be swayed by other people. Know who you are as God's daughter. Know your identity as a divine reflection of our Heavenly Parent. So our job in this time is to make sure that our God voice is strong so that we can share that femininity in our family, in our society, in our culture, to make the changes that are needed for God's full presence to dwell here on the earth. The last thing that I want to end with is one of my favorite quotes from Mother, and it's an encouragement to women and women leaders who are working together. She says here, I'll bring it up. She says, "We must push ahead in the conviction that no matter how wounded or scarred this world is, it can be healed and cleansed by the substantial work of a federation of women united in the vision of God's true love. If we have that determination, and if we make that effort, then God's absolute authority, as well as the blessing and guidance of the entire spiritual realm, will be with us." And this gives me great comfort to all the women leaders who are here and those who are pursuing leadership in the future, that the more we work together, the more we center on God's vision, and the more that we tap into our true feminine divine nature, we will see the healing occur in our society, in our world, that we are all longing to see. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share today, and I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody else.
Thank you so